Bed Bath and Beyond. There is a lot to talk about. We got a lot to cover. I'm going to be talking about the big news. We're going to talk about literally the short interest, and we're going to talk about the company finances and what it looks like. But the reason why I'm talking about is because I want to show you a similar setup that we have seen before that has played as a catalyst to a big move. Again, I want to show you this. The reason I'm going to make this argument and show you those company finances, the big news, and all what is going on is because I am looking at what something we've seen before. Again, when you're looking at big movers, stocks that have a lot of attention, stocks that always move a lot, there's always setups, things that make it look like something you've seen before. Remember, I always say patterns tends to repeat themselves, and when you watch those patterns, when you see them happening, there is always or most likely the same thing will happen, which is usually big moves to the upside. And this is what I want to talk about in this video. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. But before, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notification bell so you get videos just like this one every single time we post it. All right, so let's just get right into it. The big news everybody was waiting about, that was acting like it's catalyst, and we've seen Bed Bath and Beyond and moving up and moving up and moving up. But and then, well, what happened today? Exactly at the right now when I'm recording this video. Anyway, we've seen the stock going down, but I want to show you what happened. So Bed Bath and Beyond here. The big news was shares credit after meme stock files share offering for undisclosed amount. Yes, they're trying to raise money. We know that the company is not exactly in good shape. Let's just put it that way. And that's the number one reason why I say these are similar setup that we've seen before, right? Company is not exactly in good shape at this moment, right? This point in time. Again, so Bed Bath and Beyond file sell stock offering to raise cash. Number one. And then the company also announced that they got a $500 million financing from JP Morgan Chase and other partners. And on top of that, they are planning to lay off, or basically closing up to 50 stores all across the US. And basically it's going to result in a lot of layoffs. But in order to save about $250 million. So if you're looking at that amount of money they're trying to save, $250 million plus $500 million that they literally just received in financing from JP Morgan Chase and partners, you're looking about somewhere around $750 million. And on top of that, we don't know for now, until we actually get the SEC filing, this undisclosed amount for now, for today, of share offering that they just did. So if you're looking at this, it looks like they're raising money to be above the water. I'm not talking about just today, but in the long term, when you look at it, they're trying to raise at least over $1 billion if you add up the numbers based on what the financing there. They just got $500,000, $250 million they're trying to save from closing 50 stores, and the share offering that just happened. So you can already project how much money, at least for now, it close to what they need to do to get to at least $1 billion, because I want to show you something else about the finances, which is going to come up right pretty soon. So that's the big news. And I mean, for the fact that this is happening, and of course the company restructuring and everything else, this is showing that they're trying to do their best to stay afloat. But they're still not out of the woods yet, because they still need to be able to make sales. And from sales, it's a retail store, and that's where profit comes from. And it hasn't been really looking great, at least so far. Another thing that I want to cover is the short interest in this thing. Again, I don't want to take too much in this. The reason I'm talking about that setup, about what's going on with the company, is because we've seen this type of thing, company trying to raise money or get in these positions like GameStop or AMC. We've seen it before where we got to this point, right? Different news, different catalyst, but we've seen it. Companies trying to stay afloat. Again, the short interest. When I go to Benzinga over here, they're reporting a really, really high short interest, but at least they were showing about 47% way back at the beginning of the month, and as a week ago, they're showing over 100%. Take it with a grain of salt. But again, It's still high. It's actually very, very high. If I go here, Ortex is showing us about 50 as of today, or should I say it's a few days ago or something. Ortex is showing, closer to somewhere around 50 and above, right? So the short interest here, excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my account here, but anyway, oh, it looks like I'm not signing, that's why. Anyway, so if you look at the short interest in the company itself, and I believe Ortex tweeted this morning, today, here we go, even though we fell 20%, but the interest has been growing. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that Bed Bath and Beyond, the price has never been so low, right? Well, it's been lower than this, but the short interest has been even higher. So if you look at what's been happening is the short interest has been increasing even more while the stock is actually going lower. Yes, it was low even a month ago, but the short interest that it is today and the price that it is today, it is much, the short interest is much higher. And if you're looking at that cross, again, we've seen this setup before. Like I said, GameStop, AMC. This is a setup that we've seen before. It's been happening over and over and over, right? And the reason I'm bringing all these things is because I want to show you again the company financials. Look at this, Bed Bath and Beyond. If you go back to the Q2 of last year, they had about $1 billion in cash, right? But they have been burning cash really fast, and I'm gonna tell you, 90% of their cash is gone, because if you look as of the quarter of 2022, the Q1, as of May at least, they only have $107 million left. Well, that was in May. We're in August. So think about it, how much could be, how much, that's why they had to raise, or at least try to get the $500 million loan, close up some stores to save $250 million, and a share offering they just did to raise more cash. Because if you look at it, they have been burning a lot of cash really, really fast. And so they need the money. So if you look at this, a lot of it, if you look at the cash flow here, or at least it's a lot of it's in red. It's in red. So it's not really in good shape. But again, the reason I'm bringing this up is not to tell you that, again, you shouldn't, this is not a financial advice for you to go and buy or anything. I'm just telling you this is a setup that we've seen before that usually plays as a catalyst. Because when short sellers sees these type of data, they increase their shorts because they're thinking it's easy money. The company's literally in the water. Right now, they need a miracle, literally, to get out of it, because they still need to make sales, right? If they want to get out of it. And so the more the short increase, the more the setup is exactly coming up like we have seen it before. I keep saying this. We've seen this before. Am I saying this is a long-term investment? Not really. I will show you guys the chart. I'm not saying it's a long-term investment. All I'm saying is it's a setup that's really coming close and closer and closer to what we've seen before, for a stock to run up even higher of a potential of a squeeze. It's a squeeze, it's a short squeeze candidate that's having almost all the setup we've seen before, and pattern that tends to repeat themselves. You got catalysts, you got company trying to raise cash, you got the short increasing even more because of the state or the status where the company is right now in finances and the struggles that they're having. And then you have a higher interest of retail getting into it. It's a perfect setup for a squeeze. And as of right now, I want to show you in let's go to the hourly chart here real quick, or at least what happened. You can see that we have a gap down to $8 earlier this morning after everything that happened, and then we're still kind of trying to come out of it slowly and slowly and slowly. But it's not impossible to see Bed Bath and Beyond to try and fill up this gap again, at least to go back, because you could tell this gap down here is also due to the share offering that literally happened and the news that I just talked about at the beginning of this video. And so I wanted to keep this one short, and I believe I'm just going to keep it right here. Guys, like I talked to you about the big news, I talked to you about the short interest. I know there's a lot of details that we can talk about, and I'll show you guys the company finances and what it looks like. And I just showed you also the chart. The only reason I showed you that I wanted to make a point of saying how things comes together and what the short sellers look at, because it's easy money for them to look at the company in this condition, and the interest outside of it in terms of retail and what they look at, and the setup that we've seen before in companies like GameStop and AMC. We've been there before, and BBBY seems to be, at least at this time, at this moment, seems to be a much better candidate for a short squeeze setup. Thank you guys for watching this video. As always, as for me, I will see you in my next video. Something happened with my camera, but I'll see you guys next time.